This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase. But did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2017 Jaguar XE 35T. Up front is a supercharged 3.0 liter V6. Down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US. But let's get back to that 3.0 liter V6. Well, it is a supercharged V6, so it's not the slowest or most depressing thing in the world, as I'll now demonstrate. So we're gonna put it into dynamic mode. Car is up to temperature. 3 liter supercharged V6. Here we go. And that freaked me out because there's a cop with his lights on right in front of me. He's pulling someone over. But wow, that thing gets up and goes. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's a cop in the next parking lot pulling someone over, so I got a little scared. But oh, that is, wow. You hear the whine. I love the supercharger whine that you get. Oh man, it sounds so good. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission. So far it's been okay. It's slightly clunky. It's not the smoothest transmission I've ever driven, but it does the job. It's not super intrusive. It's not really noticeable. I'm really honestly just being nitpicky about it. And last but not least, the XE35T is all-wheel drive. This is the all-wheel drive version. This is the Prestige version, and so it is all-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me I have two physical gauges. On the left is my speedometer and on the right is my tachometer. In the center I do get a digital screen giving me my coolant temperature, my fuel, what gear I'm in, my odometer, stuff like that. Pretty basic stuff for a center screen, but I can configure that so we can go through a bunch of different stuff. Display settings, so I can do a digital speedometer, temperature, units. So for the digital speedometer, I can make it kilometers or miles per hour, or I could just straight up turn it off, which is really nice. Temperature units, can set it between Celsius and Fahrenheit, stuff like that. Really, really nice. It's very customizable, and I like that a lot. On the steering wheel, I do have a couple interesting things. On the right is my heated steering wheel option, as well as cruise control, and then on the left, I have my menu buttons, voice commands, and phone options for that center screen I just mentioned. I do have paddle shifters, which we will, let's use, why not? They are pretty fun to use, and this is a sportier car, which is pretty nice, so it does feel sporty. To the left, I do have dimmer switches and my trunk popper. And then on the door, I have my window switches, but they're sort of mounted really high up. There's almost 2 tiers of the door. Really high up is the door, really high up is the window controls, and then down below, I do have my memory seat and unlock and lock options, which I do have 3 different settings for the memory seat, which is super, super helpful. In the center, I do have 2 air vents that say Jaguar on them. Jaguar, however you want to pronounce it. I'm always going to get made fun of for pronouncing it wrong. So Jaguar on the vents. And then I have my media center. I like the media center a lot. This is where it becomes very apparent to me that this is very similar to a Range Rover. Very, very similar to a Range Rover. One thing I do like is that I do have a camera button, so when I'm driving, I can hit the camera button to look behind me, which is really, really nice. We have some settings there too. I can add or subtract the lines if I'd like to, stuff like that. Then over to the right, I have my media buttons, phone mode, and my navigation buttons. Then I have my climate controls, which interestingly enough, it says low, obviously for the lowest temperature available, but it's in a screen that doesn't look like a screen. It's just one flush piece of plastic that goes across the entire center console, but the screen is behind that, and I really, really like that. Then I have my start-stop button, volume control, and then we're down to the center console. The shifter, it's okay. It's a rotary shift dial. I don't know. What I do like about the shifter is that it does recede into the dash. So when you turn the car off, the shifter actually sort of sucks itself back in to the dashboard, and I really, really like that. Then we have a couple buttons down here below the shifter. So obviously automatic start stop off is the first one. Really, really like that feature. You guys know I absolutely hate automatic start stop off, and the Jaguar gives you the option to toggle that on and off. But then I have a couple different modes. So starting up at the top, we have dynamic, which is the little race flag. Then we have normal, eco, rain, ice, and snow down at the bottom to finish us out. I like how easily selectable it is, and then of course the traction control button is all the way over to the right. To finish out the center console, I do have something called ASPC. Basically, this is going to help you regulate your speed on differing surfaces. I forget exactly what the title of it is, but I will put it up on the screen if you want the technical term for this particular control, which it's nice that this car has that. Last but not least, I do have a power parking brake. The seats are nice and comfortable. They are leather with perforated leather inserts. But overall, I like the seats. They're not super sporty. They're not really high bolstered. They're decently comfortable. I really can't complain about them too much. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Jaguar XE 35T. Couple things back here. First of all, legroom is not great, but these seats dish in a lot more than you would think, a lot more than meets the eye. I do have heated seats down here, two 12-volt chargers, actually 3 different levels of heated seat, which is really nice. I do have a center console. Let's see what's in here. Just 2 cup holders. Not bad. Overall, it's a fine back seat. I struggle with headroom a little bit. The seats are a little high up. It's a little bit crammed. It's not the best back here, but that being said, it's not horrible either. It's definitely still a nice back seat, and the rear seat passengers are still going to enjoy the car. Finish out the interior. We do have a decent sized sunroof. You guys know I'm a sucker for good sunroofs. Absolutely love that. That's a good look right there. And overall, the interior is nice. It's just not super, super nice. The dash is still made of this plastic that's made to look like leather, this like textured plastic. I'm not a big fan of that. It does have Meridian speakers though. It is a nice interior. For sure, it's nicer than anything base or something like that. So let's talk about the looks. I like the look of the Jaguar. I think it looks decently aggressive, and I really like the front end. The rear end doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's sort of hit or miss, but I think overall it's a good looking car. It's a decently prestigious looking car, and overall I can't complain too much. So my overall thoughts on the XE35T is this honestly feels like if Range Rover were to produce a sedan. A lot of things in here feel like a Range Rover, and in some aspects that's a good thing, but in some aspects it's not the best. This really feels like a Range Rover Evoque that had been lowered. I mean, that's really the overall feeling that I get. And I wasn't the biggest fan of the Evoque, but it's still nicer than other vehicles in its segment. Jaguar definitely has an edge in terms of just aggressiveness. This car just feels a little bit more aggressive than an equivalent 3 Series. I'm not saying it's more aggressive than an M3, but it's more aggressive than just your 335i. And I sort of like that about that. And definitely Jaguar, at least here in America, Jaguar is definitely something that's different. You don't see Jaguars all the time. They're not as big as they are in Europe. And so to own one of these, you're going to own something a little bit different. You're not going to own the run-of-the-mill 330 or the run-of-the-mill 3 Series Mercedes or 300s or whatever they call them. This is the odd man out. This is the odd option, and for that, I sort of like it. I do like how different it is from those cars. But overall, I have to say, I am pretty happy with this car, especially the performance. I think the performance is really where this car gets you, really this car's hook. If this car did not have the 3-liter supercharged V6, I would not like this car because I don't think the interior quality is amazing. But, oh, that 3-liter all-wheel drive. Oh, yes! Yes! That makes up for the interior. That definitely does. This car is a blast to drive. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the 2017 Jaguar XE35T. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for allowing me to do this review and take out their used Jaguar. They have tons and tons of used Toyotas for sale right now. So if you are not into Jaguars but still are looking for a car, definitely click the link in the description below and check out their inventory, because they got a bunch of fun stuff like this. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.